If you've ever had a severe yeast infection, you know just how awful they can be. First, the symptoms include unending itching and burning, followed by an embarrassing and sometimes odor-filled discharge. Not a pleasant experience for a young woman, to be sure, but when infections seem to crop up almost as regularly as your menstrual period, it can become downright torturous. Are you suffering from any of the following symptoms? Itching or burning sensation in your intimate parts? Depression or mood swings, vaginal odor or vaginal discharge, chronic rashes, constant tiredness or fatigue, irritability, headaches or frequent migraines, food allergies, increased craving for simple carbohydrates, yeast infections in your toenails or fingernails, unexplainable feeling of not being yourself. I spent a small fortune trying every type of product and treatment method you could possibly think of. Herbal remedies, prescription drugs, 3-lac, tinctures, cell food oxygen, tonics, detox diets, vitamin therapy, antibiotics, hydrotherapy, aromatherapy, macrobiotics, reflexology, Chinese medicine, vegetarianism, the Y diet, magnetic therapy, the mucus-less diet, the blood type diet, over-the-counter treatments, and so on. And yet, despite all of this, I still suffered from severe yeast infection. The pharmaceutical and drug industries are loaded with snake oil marketers who are getting rich by preying on your desperation. You need to realize this. Conventional yeast infection product and treatment providers are your enemies. They don't want you to get rid of your yeast infection because when you do, they'll lose a customer. And with every customer they lose, they also lose a lot of money. I began visiting every type of doctor I could get an appointment with. I started with a general practitioner and then moved on to a gynecologist, an ear, nose, and throat specialist, an endocrinologist, and so on. Still, no one could find an answer. Each new doctor would take some tests, prescribe a treatment, and say that it would fix everything. Sometimes it did seem to work for a while, but eventually my symptoms would return, oftentimes worse than before. I spent thousands of dollars on antibiotics to treat ongoing infections over the years, only to be faced with all sorts of side effects and depleted savings. The yeast had started as typical vaginal and sinus infections, which is very common, and then spread throughout my internal system, attacking virtually every organ and tissue it came in contact with. No wonder I felt so sick all of the time. Once I knew what I was up against, I had a new struggle to face, ridding my body of the yeast. My naturopath tried every treatment that he knew of, but while I showed some improvement, I was still suffering. My name is Linda Allen, and I am a certified nutrition specialist, health consultant, medical researcher, speaker, and author. I am also a former yeast infection sufferer. Over the past 14 years, I've helped men and women in 157 countries to permanently get rid of their Candida yeast infections and dramatically improve the quality of their lives. When I finally found the missing piece to the Candida yeast infection puzzle, I was absolutely amazed. How did I do it? I embraced the one truth that hardly anyone knows or will tell you about. It's going to blow your mind.